Okay, it's time for another sketchbook tour. I will be yapping a bit about this book. If you want to jump right into the tour, I will leave the timestamp here. Yes, I finished this one in just 2 weeks. It has 108 pages, so I had to fill 7 to 8 pages a day. And because I'm a little stupid, it took me 15 days and not 14 like it says here. I started it on a Friday on this date, and then I finished the last pages on a Friday 2 weeks later. And that makes 15 days and not 14 like I thought. But in my head, that's still 2 weeks, so it still counts, okay? Finishing this and coming up with enough ideas for 7 to 8 pages a day was actually easier than I thought, but that's mostly because I had a lot of time involuntarily. I'm facing unemployment right now, and that's also why I did this challenge for myself, to have something that keeps me going, because doing art always makes me feel better, so I drew almost all day to keep me sane. And it was nice to have something to wake up to and, have a task to complete instead of staying in bed and be miserable all day. But enough about all of that. Let's get into it. Yeah, here I just wrote Lee's 14-day, 15-day sketchbook. And this was the first page, the first spread. This was right after I bought this sketchbook. I just sat in a park and drew a bunch of things. I really like this fancy lamppost and the bike next to it. Fancy lampposts are just so whimsical. I love when lampposts look whimsical, not minimalistic like they all do, sadly. Well, and then here just a little angsty text about my situation. I won't block it out because it is what it is. Yeah, nothing too fancy for the first spread. And then here, this is my OC Rena, and this is a fairly recent design. I started the 2-week sketchbook when I still hadn't finished my normal sketchbook, this one. I still had some pages left in here, but of course I concentrated on finishing this one first because, it was a challenge to finish this one. So in here I explored the designs of my OCs a lot. So in here you will see the recent designs, and when I do a tour of this one, you will see the old designs. I messed up the chronological order a bit, but And then here I was on Discord with my friends, and we watched our Lethal Company clips, and it turned into a little sketchbook inception because I had my sketchbook laying in front of me, and I drew what I saw, so it goes on and on and on. For this one, I used a OC creator kind of thing on Pinterest. The one where it shows a bunch of options and you hit pause and you use the option that it landed on for, skin tone, body type, more accessories, or eye shape and everything. It was fun. I think it's very coherent. And here are just some silly doodles. I don't know, nothing too special. But I like the cowboy worm and the pirate snail. They're very cute. Here I just drew a bunch of snakes. This one is so goofy, but it's okay. And here I drew my sister. I love this drawing a lot. I used some of my pencils and I used some of my mother's. She has some kind of felt tip pens, but with a brush tip. And they're nothing too special. I think they're very cheap actually, but there's something so special about using your mom's art supplies. I really like using them, and I spent the weekend at my mom's, and my sister was also there, so I decided to draw her. And she's so pretty. I love my sister. She's so pretty and fun, and she's just awesome. Yeah, here I just outlined the bleeding through ink from the alcohol markers that I also use. And here I just wanted to draw a portrait in, unnatural colors, so I chose some green pens and just did this. This was a drawing, a picture I found on Pinterest, and I just referenced it. And here, this was actually very fun. I blocked out the background in various colors, and then I did the outline of the skull, and then, colored in the background. And I really like how the color blocked background shows through the colored pencil. I really like the look of it. Yeah, it's just some lemons. They aren't special in any way, but I had to fill 7 to 8 pages a day. I didn't really, I didn't really want to make it perfect. I just wanted to, get something out of my head onto the page. So, and here I drew a dinosaur with the felt tip pens from my mom, and the felt tip pens, they're very wet, very watery, and so it kind of sucked the ink from the other side to this page, and yeah, that's why there are some black dots everywhere. Kind of sad. But I really like this drawing. I like the colors, I like dinosaurs. It's a nice page. Here I drew some more dinosaurs, and I really like the style that I chose for this dinosaur. It's a iguanodon. I don't know if it's also the English name. Well. And here just a little self-portrait and a 4-leaf clover, because I found one when I was outside with my mom. Very lucky. I can really use the luck. I hope it brings me some luck. Here I did a little stylized face study. I'm practicing to capture the likeness of a person, because that's really hard. And I used a great tutorial for this by Banana Boy on YouTube. It's a great tutorial. You should really check it out if you're struggling with faces like that. Yeah, sadly I didn't really like the end result, but I like the first draft that I did. And yeah, it's okay, I can always start over, learn from your mistakes. Then here I drew some album covers of music that I really like, and some Animal Crossing stuff. I really got into Animal Crossing again. I played it a lot with my sister when I was at my mom's place. This is me as an Animal Crossing villager. A little cat. Yes, and Lucky, he's my favorite villager. I love him. He's so cute. Here I did a little scribble page, and Gumi. I love drawing Gumi. He's so fun to draw. Gumi is one of my favorite Pokemon. I have a lot of favorite Pokemon, to be honest. But Gumi is definitely one of my favorites. Then some Soul Eater fan art. Soul Eater was the first anime that I consciously watched as an anime. I used to watch Pokemon after school, or, I don't know, Naruto and such. But Soul Eater was the first anime that I watched being like, oh, I'm really into anime now. And it was also the anime that got me into drawing more. I copied a lot of screenshots from Soul Eater, and it influenced my style quite a bit back then. Here just some concept sketches, and I didn't really feel like filling out this page even more, so... It's okay to take shortcuts when you have to fill almost 8 pages a day, okay? I wasn't too hard on myself filling the pages. These are some sketches of my home village, not hometown, it's not a town. Yeah, I just sat outside and decided to sketch some of the landscapes. Yeah, I think I'm blocking out some of the information here because I don't want to dox myself. Maybe also this one, because it's a signpost with the street names on it. Here I try to draw a cow from memory. It's so silly. Oh my god. And then I try to draw one with reference, and I like this one. Cows are so cute. And I used a random generator for fruit and animal. So I generated one fruit and one animal and tried to combine them. And this one, oh my god, hog and pear. It's cute. It's so cute. I love him. I also like this one, but I didn't bother coloring it in because I don't know why. I just wasn't feeling it. And this one was bear and cherry. I didn't have enough space left, so I went with a very lazy option. This, I love this one. It's so whimsical, this unicorn. I like the hair, how flowy it looks. I like how I captured the pose. And the colors, of course. Green is my favorite color, so everything green I will automatically like a lot. Here I just drew some vegetables. Well, I know, avocado. I don't know how to pronounce avocado. Avocado, right? Yes, avocado. I know it's not a vegetable. I think it's a berry actually, or fruit. I don't know. I don't care. It's vegetable, okay? And a little wizard lady thingy. I didn't really like this, but yeah, it's okay. Then I drew my hands. I did a little hand practice because hands are so hard to draw. Oh my god. I mean, I like drawing hands because when you get it right, it's so satisfying. But getting it right is just so hard. So I took some pictures of my hands and just tried to fill the page with it. Here I drew a fawn. I saw some mushrooms growing on a tree stump in my father's garden, and I thought I really want to draw a person who has growing mushrooms on them. And I thought a fawn would be fitting for that. These are just some sketches for underwater foxes. Yeah, nothing special. And then here I drew the underwater foxes. This one is a redesign of a very old OC of mine. I think I created her when I was 16 and I decided to recycle her for my current story. And this was the first one and I didn't like it. And then this was the second one and it didn't feel like the character I wanted to create with her. Then I did this one and I still thought it was too round. And then I did this one and this is exactly how I want her to look. And I can't recreate it. I don't know, but I wanted her to be like very slender because, you know, she's an elf. Elves are usually whether slender. I really like this. But sadly, yeah, I couldn't recreate it from this point on. Yeah, as you can see here, I tried to draw her again. And these are the current characters that I have for the story that I'm working on. And as I said, I really explored their design in this book. So that's what I did here. I changed Rina's clothes a little bit. And I really like how this turned out. I'm not that good at character design, actually, especially clothing. I don't know, I just can't come up with original clothing somehow. It's something that I'm practicing right now. And I think here it shows that I that I tried really hard. This is just some collaging I did. I was at my father's house and I asked him if he has some old magazines. And at first he was like, oh no, I think I have one old newspaper in the trash. And then 5 minutes later he came back and had a huge staple of old magazines. I think it was this high. I don't know, it was just some scientific magazines from the 90s, I think. I think from the 90s. Yeah, so I just cut out some stuff and glued it together. Here again, my old OC. Again, not really being able to recreate the face that I did before. And then I wanted to design a girlfriend from my main character because, you know, she needs a girlfriend. This, yeah, as I said, I got into Animal Crossing again and I really want to finish my museum. So I just wrote down all the insects and fish that I still need to catch. Also, fun fact, this isn't my handwriting. I just decided, you know, it would be fun if I just changed my handwriting. Would that be possible? And I just did. And I don't know how I did it, but I guess I have a second handwriting unlocked now. Yeah. This is the design for now for Rena's girlfriend. I still can't decide if I want to either make her very tall or very tiny. But I want to give her a very soft design, soft colors and everything. Yes. More Soul Eater fan art. I love Dr. Stein. He was my first ever anime crush, and he still is, to be honest. I love him so much. I don't know. Okay, let me be. And then I tried to draw myself in the Soul Eater style. I don't like how this one turned out, but this one is peak. I love it. And it's also really capturing how I feel at the moment, to be honest. More Rena and her girlfriend. She still doesn't have a name yet. I don't know what to call her, actually. I will have to think of a name. And these are just some figure studies I did. I think I used Line of Action. It's a very nice website, you know, for timed figure studies. I use it a lot. It's very nice for practicing. Here I just doodled over the bleed through. Nothing too special. And then some tomatoes. I finally was able to use my watercolors. I was back home at this point, and yeah, I just threw on some wet blobs and then drew the stems with colored pencil. This is probably my favorite spread in this whole sketchbook. First I did a self-portrait, and then I wanted to glue in some colored paper, and I decided to draw a sleeping dinosaur on it. And this one is so cute, it warms my heart. It's so cozy, it's so eepy. And then I decided to draw some more dinosaurs, and this one turned out very bad. But I really like the other three. And again, green, my favorite color, so then I drew a Mosasaurus? Sorry, I don't know the English pronunciation. The head turned out a little bit too small, but it's okay. It's just a sketch anyways, so I don't really know what idea I had with this one. I think I just wanted to draw a person with a star in front of their eye, and then I just went with it. Yeah, another face drawing practice, and I tried to draw Curtis Connor. And I had to laugh so much about this one because it just looks like someone's racist dad that has a giant monster truck. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not very happy with this one. I don't know if you can recognize who it is without like knowing that it's Curtis Connor. Yeah, but I don't know, I feel conflicted because I like the drawing, but I don't know if you actually would recognize Curtis Connor from this drawing. Oh yes, I watched a lot of Amazing World of Gumball. It's one of my favorite series ever. And I decided to draw Mr. Small. He's one of my favorite characters. But I think my actual favorite character is Sussy. I love her so much, especially her song, where she sings about she sings about that she's cringe but she's free, and I feel that so much. And then I drew SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob shaped my personality because I watched it a lot when I was a kid. It's actually his fault that I'm so weird, I guess. I drew this with oil pastels, I think. And this one too. I like how these look together, how scribbly they look. I really enjoyed doing these. Some more of my OC, and I wanted to give her a design, like what would she look like if she was just in our universe. Yeah, it was fun playing around with her design and with some other poses, I think. And here I again tried and failed to draw my OC. I don't know why I can't reproduce the drawing of the face that I did once. It's frustrating, to be honest. And here I also explored the design of another OC of this story. And they are together actually, so this is why I drew this. I really enjoy this page. I did this sketch first, and I don't know if you have this struggle also, but oftentimes I do a little sketch of a pose I want to draw, and the sketch always turns out better than the actual drawing. I don't know why that is, but that's why I decided to glue this in here, because I thought it was just too nice and pretty to just throw it away. Oh yes, this was after I took a walk in the nearby swamp forest kind of area with my boyfriend, and we saw a lot of lizards just chilling in the sun. They were so cute. And then I decided to draw the landscape, or at least I attempted to draw the landscape. I actually like how this turned out. It's not, very detailed, but I think it really captures the feeling of the area. And then my hands got, full of color from I used oil pastels, and they just printed a bunch on my hands, and I decided to draw that, because why not? This was a page that I gave up on. I did this drawing first, and I was like, hey, I really like that. And then I did this, and I was like, yeah, well, okay. And then I drew this, and I hated it so much that I didn't want to continue. And that's okay. Sometimes you just have to give up stuff that you don't like. Oh yes, and this is the start of a series of self-portraits with different art materials. This one is done in acrylic markers, and I used only acrylic markers. This one was with felt tip pens, and this looks so creepy. It looks like these anatomy dolls where you can just see the muscles. I didn't have the correct skin tone for me, so it kind of looks like I have a massive sunburn, which is accurate because I'm pale as hell, and whenever I go outside it just takes 5 minutes until I get a sunburn. And then I just go back to being white again. This one was done with just some dollar store wax crayons. This one is with pencils that I got from a mystery art box once, and I just had a limited color palette. I really like how this turned out. I like drawing with alternative color palettes, I guess. This one, it doesn't look like my style actually. I don't know what happened. This one was drawn with willow charcoal sticks. It's just a stick of charcoal, like a burnt willow stick. It's actually quite fun to use. And for this one I used the Faber-Castell Polychromos. This was fun, okay? I'm starting to get into Dungeons and Dragons because my boyfriend is very, very big into Dungeons and Dragons. And he wanted to do a campaign for me, for just me, because I really want to get into Dungeons and Dragons, but I never played it before because I'm so socially awkward that I can't even play a game for the socially awkward people. So I'm doing a solo campaign with him so that I can get into it. And we were looking through the different characters, the different classes and everything. And I saw the sorcerer with the shadow magic. And I thought it was very interesting, like reading the description of it. And I immediately had the idea for this character. I don't think I will play him, but he will definitely be saved for maybe a later campaign. I had a lot of fun with his design, and I think you can see that I had a lot of fun. This okay, so I drew this very late in the evening, and I wanted to do another spread, but I was so tired that I just drew some squares because I wanted to do a square layout kind of thing. And then I woke up in the morning and I had no idea what I wanted to do with all these squares. So I did some very, very, very lazy doodles. Yes. This one, okay, this is a sad drawing because I was feeling very shitty this day. I think these are the only 2 pages I did that day because I just couldn't get anything else done. But I drew the background with oil pastels, and then I glued this onto it, and I turned the page, and then I printed this out, and it left a box, and then I drew this one in it. I really like the effect that it gives. I just wish I drew something happier. It really doesn't match the vibe, but that's okay. Oh yes, this day I was in the library with my boyfriend. Here I drew him. And I was looking for art tutorial books, and I found one for drawing animals, and then I just did the warm-up practice that was in the book. And it was a lot of fun, actually. And then here I try to draw some big cats. I think it's a mountain lion. At least this one is. I don't know what this one was. This one turned... I don't know if I like it or I hate it. It's a mixture of both. But it was very fun. It was so nice sitting in the library and just studying art there. I think I would do it more often now. And they also had a big variety of art books with tutorials or just artworks about everything. And it doesn't cost anything to just go there and grab books and read them. So it's a very nice resource to have. Then I try to draw my desk. I don't like how this turned out. It was a very fast doodle, actually. But I see this in a lot of sketchbooks from other people, that they draw this space that they are drawing in, so I wanted to do one as well. Yes, here I searched for some memes on Pinterest and just drew them. The meat one is terrifying. And this one is also a picture I found on Pinterest, and I really liked the outfit, so I decided to draw it, and then I just put a bunch of stickers on it. And I like the cold pink color palette this has. Yeah, another scribble page. I just, scribbled the background, then I drew a dog and glued it onto it, and then I let it print to the next page to get this effect. It was fun. Then I drew my OC Nilo and what he would have in his bag. At first I didn't like this page, but now I think it's very nice. It very captures his personality. And on this page, my father got a new small cat because this cat got very lonely, so they got another cat and they called him Karl-Heinz. And they're so cute together. They really get along, and it's so cute watching them play. And yeah, this is a picture my sister sent me, and I decided to draw it because it was, I don't know, it just looks so cute. Like, he's so tiny, he's just so tiny, and him like having his paw on the back of the bigger cat, it's cute. Then I drew some Pokemon, and I really like the drawing of Umbreon. I think Umbreon is the English name. And I decided to give it a star shape on the head. I think it has a circle, but it's something that I really like to do, like slightly redesigning Pokemon. And this is from Pokemon Concierge. It's the stop motion Pokemon series, and I really enjoyed this one. It's just cozy, I don't know. And I also wish I could just, end my job and then start a job on an island where it's all just fun and always sunny and nice weather, and I just get to play with Pokemon all day. uh, it it's my dream job. This one, my boyfriend drew this because he's very into astronomy, not the one with like science, the one about planets and stars. I don't know what's the right word. And I asked him if he wanted to draw something for me, so he drew this solar system. It's so cute. It's so wholesome. I really didn't think that he would draw something because he's not really that much into drawing. So it was a nice surprise, and I love this page. And this is the last page. The end. I did it. Well, considering that I took one day longer than I wanted to, but yeah. This really captures my feeling. That's the 2-week sketchbook, I guess. I really enjoyed this sketchbook. It was so much fun drawing all day, and it really helped me to not go insane. I hope that you enjoyed it too. I decided to upload this one too because the last video was just kind of an experiment whether I would like doing videos of my sketchbooks or not. And I had so much fun filming the video and cutting it and then uploading it. And I received so much support for this first video. I thought it would get like maybe 20 views and maybe my friends would watch it. But I don't know, I didn't really think that so many people would see it. And I don't know, it felt so nice. I read the comments and they made my heart melt so much. And so I decided, okay, you know what? Let's keep going. I actually will film another sketchbook tour very soon of this one because this one is also finished right now. I think I would try to keep a bi-weekly upload schedule. So this one will be out in 2 weeks then. And I also got a new sketchbook. This chunker, it's very big. It's the biggest sketchbook that I ever had. Yeah. I never drew in a format like this. And I think it would be very challenging and nice. And maybe I want to film a video where I decorate this one and maybe fill out the first page. But I don't know how to do that yet. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have like any ideas, anything you want to see from me, because I really like filming videos and I really want to do more videos, I think. If you have any ideas, anything you want to see, just let me know. I would be very happy to create more videos. Yeah, that's it. I hope you liked it, and I hope you have a nice day and a nice week, nice weekend or whatever. Yeah, bye!